Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spin Rack, and I'm back doing another video. This one, of course, as you saw before, but now you get to see the Jack Kirby collector name on either end. This is the larger edition of the Jack Kirby collector. I bought it when it was originally just a pamphlet that had paper like this. That's within this page thing with photocopies printed into the book, and then at the issue 50 it turned into this large volume, right? And it was perfect. It's now a much smaller magazine size again, but this is a glorious period. $10, well worth it, right? Some of their other books, I bought all of their books, Rough Stuff, the Kryptonian. I've shown you some of them. What's it? The Legion Outpost, Rough Stuff. I've got the DVD, How to Draw Comics. So, I didn't learn how to draw comic books. But someone has said that, oh yeah, so this is a pencil page, and we're going to see an ink version in the back, right? And they tell you that John Byrne is going to do that, right? But this is another edition by Tomorrow's, right? So, conversation with Jack and Roz. So you get sometimes they have interviews from Kirby himself. This is a book that was just kind of started and not finished of the Stuntman. This is a portfolio that Dark Horse did. There's drawings that Kirby had in his house, in which they re-released as a print, and they went quick. It was costly, and they were gone. But it's great that you have Roz and Jack here, right? Well, their long-time love affair, right? We got the Black Hole, which Mike Royer got Kirby involved in, and he did the inking and/or making sure all the characters look consistent. And this is kind of layouts that Kirby would get to draw from, which Kirby stayed pretty faithful to it, right? But this is Destroy a Duck. No, this is Mr. Miracle. This is Mr. Miracle. A con drawing. And here we get to some New God stuff, right? This is for Who's Who of because at this point, what's that thing? New Genesis was destroyed. So Kirby kind of did a drawing of that. It was still, Supertown was still floating around. But this is the first time, no, this isn't the first time we've seen Orion's face. At this point, Kirby has changed what happened to Orion's face. When he first did it, he had this rough face, right? This ugly face. And now we have this battle-torn face that's all messed up. So Kirby was changing his story as he went along. Got this drawing of the Highfather. Since it's not a New Gods related, but we got Thor. He's not as strong at this point. His father banished him to Earth. We get the ink version right here. Right? So it's I think it's pretty faithful, right? Yeah, it's pretty much faithful to it. And I never had an issue with Vince Coletto on Thor. It kind of worked for me. Not on the Fantastic Four. We got Hyman here. It's kind of the nice guy on Apocalypse. We got Captain Nice here drawing. And then we got Mark Evaner. He's going to give you some facts. This is always a good part in it when they have some interviews with someone connected. And we also have where he was doing layouts, where he was doing these heavy descriptions, even though the drawings are just stick figures. He was doing heavy layouts, right? At some point, since I think a lot of people were reminding Kirby that he was doing layouts, Kirby misremembered that he did the layout for the first the first Iron Man comic book, which he didn't. He drew only the cover, right? And I think these are the losers. And we have Mr. Miracle here. This is the first drawing of Mr. Miracle that was in the portfolio, right? We got Light Ray. Now, I always say, this is just my opinion, that if Marvel had gotten the New Gods, they would have kind of made Light Ray like his Human Torch and more of the highlight, where Kirby's highlight of the story was Orion, who he kind of saw as, like, he said he's like your father, the kind of guy who does all the dirty work. So he does all the dirty work for New Genesis, right? And we got another, is this a Challenger page? Yes, this is a Challenger page. I'm not sure where this is. I think these are Atlas pages. Yeah, House of Mystery. House of Mystery. And let's showcase. Sorry, showcase. And then we got the Forever People. A lot of great, Dark Side bits are in the Forever People. And we get to see large sequences of the Forever People here, right? And we see Isaac. He would somehow appear in the Hunger Dogs. And then we have Darkseid taking off his mask. Then we get some talk about the Hunger Dogs, which I just talked about, right? And this is inked by Mike Royer here. And this is another page inked by Mike Royer. Right? He did the letters. He would also do lettering. And become this dark thing where we lost our battle-torn hero. Right? And then we got, this is the face that Orion had outside of the face that he did in the Death Wish of the Terrible Turpin. And this is one of the ads for the Hunger Dogs. Right? We have this Isaac storyline here. Right? So now they're doing action figures, right? So Kirby did some designs for it, right? He gave you Darkseid. Look a little softer than the normal Darkseid, but we got a Darkseid, and I'm not sure if they totally followed these designs that Kirby did, but it's cool to have them. All right, the side, I guess the side is close. Calabac, this weird monster. Now they took Orion and they gave, instead of having a helmet, they made his harness a part of him, which influenced Walter Simonson to kind of give Orion this sort of thing around him rather than that. But just use the bottom part and put the helmet on, right? So you're trying to give them toys and such. And then you're trying to say this is some of the beginnings of the Mobius chair. But that would say that because Simon and Kirby also had writers. So it wasn't just like Simon and Kirby and like Kirby did everything and Simon was the boss. Simon was a writer. They also had other writers. You know, it was a production team, right? So this is some of the more fantastic stuff they did for, I think this is Atlas. That's like a DC thing. Kirby as a genre. Kind of showing you stuff you can see from other artists and Kirby stuff. Then we have the New Gods covers from the 80s. All right. Post Kirby, right? So Jerry Conway talking about doing the New Gods and his stuff in the Return and Adventures. Then we have Mark Evans talking about his time. I think Rachel Pollack talking about her time on it. We got John Byrne talking about his time. We get to see a John Byrne page that has Superman falling into the fire pits and or to his death, and then Simonson talking about his time on it. And that is talking about the Forever People, his thing that he did. And I think the next would be Starlin, but I don't know if Starlin had. And then we get another drawing from Byrne of the Forever People, right? And he always kind of looked at surfing as kind of younger. So we kind of tell you all the crossovers that happened. You know, I don't see the Justice League listed here. They're gonna have the Legion of Superheroes. They should have that. They have Swamp Thing too, but then some of the stuff you can pick up: a romance, a later romance, a Jimmy Olsen shot where they felt looked like Kirby, but at some point artists draw the characters like themselves. And then this is an unused page for some strange reason, but it's a great page, right? It probably is part of the pact, but it would work where they kind of talked it out and trade babies. And then we have this picture that John Byrne inked, but John Byrne, as he said, he just traced it. He didn't try to change anything, right? So there you go, the New Gods issue of the Jack Kirby Collector. Spinner Rack out.